Mr. Rimmer.
Yes, Stephen Rimmer here. Good morning, Council. I'm here on behalf of the Detroit Tennis Association, and I propose a policy amendment. In collaboration with the community, the DTA calls on City Council to establish and pass a right to renew ordinance with good cause protection. This ordinance will allow renters to renew our leases and protect us from unjust evictions. Right to renew ordinance with good cause protection will require landlords to offer lease renewal terms to current tenants unless there is good cause not to. It will also impede unjust evictions by prohibiting landlords from ending an at-will tenancy except in cases of good cause such as lease violations and failure to pay rent. We are looking forward to work together to make Detroit a better place. This ordinance will benefit the neighborhood stability, public health, and economic competitiveness by attracting workers and help retain our young talent. We hope that when given the opportunity, you vote yes and give Detroit tenants a right to renew ordinance with good cause protection. The Detroit Tennis Association will hold a forum at General Baker Institute on June 1st at 6 p.m. and we invite the public and we invite you, our council, to attend. In the meantime, we have prepared a proposal for your consideration. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And if you can send that proposal via email to all of the council members so that we can review it. I can't recall, I thought at one point I submitted something trying to get a legal opinion on right to renew. If not, we will resubmit that again and make sure that that is for the record. And then also your event that's forthcoming, if you can send that to us as well.
Will do. Thank
Okay,
you.
we appreciate you. Pro Tem and then Member Young. Okay, Member Young. Yep, Member Young.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I just want to let you know, not the right to renew issue, but I have introduced legislation involving just cause legislation that we're working on now. I just wanted to break that down really quickly. So, because during the pandemic, 33% of all the evictions were for no cause legislation. What just cause legislation does, it says that it defines that a person can only be evicted for a couple things. One, which is non-payment of rent. It's about 66% in the city of Detroit. Secondly, is if you violate the lease. And then thirdly, is if you tear up your rental unit. And then it goes down the list of process that the landlord has to go through in order to evict people. Because I don't think that people should be evicted for no cause. And when I'm talking about no cause or termination of tenancy, what I'm referring to is the no cause legislation of either a month-to-month lease. So after your lease is over, they put you on a month-to-month lease, or they imply a lease verbally. So they either have a verbal lease or it's an implied lease. And so I think that in terms of ending that process, we keep more people in their apartments. I also think, or in the rental units, I also want to say this. I think it's also important because $27 million in terms of disruptive displacement, where people are being displaced and then leaving the city. That is the amount that it's costing the city. It's about $3,751 per person federally in terms of census dollars that we're losing. So I think this is a major issue, and I'd like to thank Madam President for working on right to counsel, because I think the just cause legislation along with the right to counsel can work together and coincide with each other to keep tenants in their households. So I just want to say in their domicile. So thank you very much for that. Thank you for your work, and please send me that information and when you're going to have that event, because I'd like to show up as well. Thank you, Madam President.
All right, thank you, Member Young. Mr. Bass. Oh, I'm sorry, if I come back to you. 1 second. Pro Tem Tate had a response as well.
Thank you, Madam President. And I typically allow the public comments to just go without saying anything, but I just seen that you are advocating our way and we have not met, and thank you for submitting the information. I just want to make sure that when we talk about the right to renew, that we are taking in consideration. And I have a personal experience. My family, they were renting out the family home. Once I became of age, I took that home, that responsibility. And we did evict the tenants that were previously in that home, because that's a generational family home. So in this situation, if there was a right to renew, that possibly would disrupt the process that we as a family had outlined for us to obtain that particular property. So not necessarily ownership, but seeing your family members being able to utilize that particular property. So I want to make sure that, and I have not seen the proposal, but that's something that I will be very concerned about if it is not addressed.
And right, that is in there actually. If you are the owner and your immediate family wants to occupy the home, you can evict for
Pass
that
it down.
reason, so something like that.
Okay.
And we have reviewed Councilmember Young's ordinance, and we like what you're doing and we appreciate it, and we just want to work together. We think we need more protection, so I appreciate it, and I'll send all the information to you guys.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm M. Lewis Bass. I'm here as a founding member of Detroit Tenants Association, and I am in a current no lease situation where the landlord is deliberately trying to make a court case out of charging me a late fee before my rent is due. So I'm here to speak on the protections that we hope we can get as tenants from egregious actions by a landlord to deliberately get you out of an apartment to purposely raise the rent. So I'm hopeful that you all are moving in that direction. I'm glad to hear that you are, because I've been in my apartment, in this particular apartment, for 18 years. So, and my rent has never been late. And I don't appreciate being targeted because I'm a member of the Detroit Tenants Association.
Thank you. I'm not sure what building you're in, sir, but I do want to remind individuals who may be here with that organization that our office is hosting tenants' rights workshops. And we've been to several buildings throughout District 5. If you call our office, we will come in. There's a formal presentation that goes over all the rights, how to organize, how to form tenant councils, understanding your rights as a renter, and empowering you all with that information. So I'll leave my number again. It's 313-224-4505, and my team is out here. They can give you a card, but we would love to come by, provide lunch, and do a workshop around all of the rights you all have as tenants as well. But we will submit that memo regarding the ordinance, and looking forward to working with you. All right, thank you. Yes, Mr. Harris, Roshan Harris.
Yes, looks like good afternoon, Council. Roshan Harris here with the Detroit Renters and Tenants Association as well. Councilmember Young, I've been in contact with your staff, and so we will keep a correspondence as we continue to work together to build out. We've looked at the legislative policy review you guys have submitted, and we really appreciate the work that's already been done. We look forward to doing more work in the community, organizing community members, giving them an understanding of what their rights are as tenants. I'm myself a tenant in District 5. We definitely appreciate all of the great work that our council president has done, but we need to do more. We know it's very vital and important for folks. We know the majority of the folks in the city are renters and tenants. We're talking about our Detroit residents here who've been here the whole time. And so we want to make sure that they're protected, that we keep this city a majority Black city. That's very, very important. Cultural legacy is important. Economic legacy is important, but also that stability of being able to stay in that home, but also understanding from a landlord perspective that a lot of our landlords are individual family-owned land properties, and we want to be able to provide them a certain level of protection as well, but making sure we're looking after our residents for the city of Detroit. So thank you very much, and we look forward to working with you.
All right, you as well. Thank you, Mr. Harris.